vibrations, sweet babies. I literally, since I decided I wanted to do this audio, I've been that song, what it is, boo, what's up? I don't even know like that song, but I was at the Christmas event the other day and that came on, and like several of the girls were like getting down, like getting into that song, like what it is, boo, what's up? I don't know. A lot of songs were coming through for me today. I'm probably gonna pop some channeled songs into the broadcast channel. I also just have like this sneaking suspicion that while I try to record this, I'm gonna get my like delivery that I've been waiting like over a week for, because there was issues with the whole shipping, and I was sent, instead of an actual like mattress for a bed, I was sent a cover for a truck bed. So you can imagine my surprise when that was what came out of the box. Anyway. Oh, I feel called to shuffle some cards on some divine feminine energy. For real, it feels like a really good time for, I'm not even going to say divine feminine. It just sounds a little high horsey. I just feel like the tapped in feminine, you know, the one who's really aware and trying to live in alignment with her flow and, you know, be in her softness, but don't mistake that softness for weakness. Ooh, hello. There was this quote that I used to really love, and it was like, a quiet woman is a wolf in meditation. And I loved that, because it's like, let a motherfucker try. Let a motherfucker try, right? Just because I'm not barking doesn't mean that, like, I don't believe in my own strength and capability, right? But we don't have to be in that protector, like, rah, 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 like ready to bite, ready to fight all the time. And sometimes there's like a really beautiful, this balance that shows up when we really find like harmony with being able to find like that balance of strength and softness. This really is feeling like womb energy, and I don't know, some of you have been doubting your intuition. Some of you have been maybe even ignoring signs, like on purpose. Like, you know exactly what things are being kind of like shown to you. Maybe you even asked for this clarity and you asked for signs. And you're like, but I need like a signier sign than that. 333 on the timestamp. You gotta trust your intuition, babe. That is like the number one thing with healing this feminine energy. And it is very essential for, I think, where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do in your life. But not only that, your joy, just your sheer ability to feel joy in your life. So let's get into this reading a little bit. There's this couple things that were coming through before I even started shuffling, because that's kind of how things go over here for me. There's like this feeling of just needing to like really take some time with yourself. It's great to be social, and I know that like you want to have your people around you, especially like I think feminine energy right now, like other feminine energy around you is something maybe you're craving and really noticing a lack of. But I think there's a little bit of needing to heal it within yourself first. Yes, prepare. So you're going to be wined and dined right now. Let me see if anything else wants to pop out, but like I knew. Okay, give me a sec. I want to really feel into this. Okay. Where did it just go? The heck? Card just literally revealed itself. Okay, there it is. And then it disappeared. Holy cow, that was weird. Some things might be really subtle. This was actually a message that came up. And I think this is my sign to share it. Yeah. Some things may be really subtle. The things that kind of raise an awareness, like an alarm bell or a red flag. Maybe it's an orange flag, as they say. Like, it's not that big of a deal per se. But, like, if it bothers you, it bothers you. And that's something that, like, people who care about you should notice and respect. So, let me really break this down. Ooh. This is a crazy beautiful, powerful, like self-worth reading. And you know, what I think is really cool is that when we work on these things, we have the ability to really heal for collective energy. Those in our collective, in our field, you know. Okay, so one more moment. Okay. Yep. There's some numbers that are coming up here. Some phrases. And some little indications. Wow, this is so cool. This is I'm enjoying this reading a lot. I really am. If you can't tell, because I'm all over the place, and that means there's a lot coming through. Yeah. Okay. That's super cool. I think that there was, especially during the time of Mercury retrograde, like this feeling of needing to protect your energy, because of whatever the reasons were, but maybe it was even just to kind of make sense of what you're really feeling and what you needed to process. I think it's time that your luck changes, and I think your luck is going to be replenished. I'm getting an indicator that it's something like you need to grow. Think of it like a prosperity plant. This is such a weird specific message, but like maybe you need to get a prosperity plant and like look at that process of taking care of that plant and nurturing it as the way of like replenishing your abundant energy, which is like self-care and protecting your energy and having boundaries. Boundaries come in the shape of mental, physical, and spiritual. There are mental boundaries, like time boundaries. Something that's really big for me is like if I say to someone, hey, like I'm available around this time, and they show up like early, significantly early, that's kind of frustrating because I gave that person a time for a reason. And there's probably other things that I was trying to do and take care of in my life before whatever that, thing was. This is like something specifically that would happen a lot in my family. And we were a family of people pleasers, so like no one would say anything, but it would just stress everybody out all the time because people would just show up like hours early. So anyway, it just became a thing over my life where it was like, hey, like this is my time that I'm available. This is my free time, whatever. I feel like it's important to emphasize the word time right now for whatever reason as well. There might be time that you want to spend with people and share with people, but it's okay to know when it's time to stay home, and maybe also take a little bit more time to figure out who it is you really want to be giving your energy to right now. Because like I said, there's like a little bit of a butterfly effect. Like the more that we take care and harness our energy, give ourselves our self-care, we really had that time of maybe a little bit of preservation around the time of Mercury retrograde, where it just felt like there was a block of some kind that was showing up. It might have been through communication, it could have been energetically, it could have been like in all types of different ways. That just kind of felt like a little bit of a halt to the luck and fortune that we were kind of feeling and tapping into, especially around Pluto's transit and, the Saturn transit at that time. It was really more of like a fortune favors the bold type of energy that was showing up. And then around Mercury retrograde, which was the last 3 weeks, that felt like a little bit of a slowdown, or a little bit more of like a sludge that we had to trudge through. But I do see things balancing out and turning around, especially in the feelings of abundance and feelings of, I think, what we as feminine energy beings, okay, and here's what I mean by this. When I say this, somebody who's tapped into your feminine energy, and this is how you strongly show up, or maybe you're listening to this about somebody who you like care about or know who shows up strongly in this feminine energy. This could be someone who's very emotional, highly intuitive. Emotional can be two ways, consciously or unconsciously. Like this could be the person who's very reactive and emotional, or this could be a person who feels very deeply but like kind of knows the understanding of like feelings in and feelings out, Regardless, those are both two ways to show up with feminine energy, is like through emotions, through intuition. Whether you're trusting it or not, you need to be. This could be somebody who's very artistic, very creative. That is the yin feminine energy, right? And also, how much are you taking in energy versus putting it out and like really giving off a strong vibration? Like that is also operating in feminine. If you're someone who's really like more so taking in all of your experiences and all of the people around you and all of that, and you're not really, your aura is not very strong or defined, you struggle to stay in your own vibe, like you might be operating more in your feminine. And there's nothing wrong with this, because these energies are both equal and they're both beautiful. They both represent two very important facets of existence. Like you cannot have one without the other. They're represented by yin and yang in Taoist culture, and it's we think of it as good and bad. That's how like this quote goes. I don't think of it as good and bad. I think of it as light and dark, like heavy and light. Things can be heavy and things can be low, and things can be light and high vibrational. I'm not the judge of good and bad. That's a much higher power than me. I know what feels good and bad in my body, for me personally, but when it comes to this yin and yang symbol, it represents life. You can't have one without the other. We as individuals can't experience things without both of these energies existing simultaneously within us. This has nothing to do with gender. This has nothing to do with man or female. This male or female, right? This has to do with masculine and feminine embodiments of all of these really beautiful layers to life. And I just think that scope and that lens to look at energy through is such a really enlightening, and it really puts words to the kind of experience that we're having with everything in life. And so, I want to just speak on that, because if you're listening to this, it's for a reason. Don't make anything try to fit, as I always say. If it's not resonating with you, that's okay. Like I said, you could be listening to this 555 for somebody else, or maybe you're trying to tap into something that's happening within your divine union. But this is really important for whoever's listening, that you need that union within yourself first. You need to be holding space for both of those energies within your own being first and foremost, before you try to really think about all of the external things. How are you witnessing your own emotions? How are you holding space for your own intuition to really come through? Are you giving that intuition respect and honor? Are you taking your creativity and your ideas seriously? Do you think that your imagination and your creativity is playful or immature or something that children do? Or are you honoring, the connection to life? It's really all about your own experience. And then on the other side of that, it's how much are you, allowing the structures in your life to guide you? How much discipline are you giving your everyday life, or maybe your creative energy? Are you tapping into that masculine side of witnessing and planning and structure and taking action around whatever intuition or intuitive messages, symbols, things come through? That's the divine union's synergistic dance. We have the feeling, that's the feminine, and we witness the feeling, hold space for the feeling, that's the masculine. And then we have, the creative thought, that's the feminine, right? And then we put that thought onto paper, and that action and that affirmation to source with the paper is masculine, so in all ways, at all times, we have an opportunity to really stay in that harmonious union within ourselves and not let one override the other. And it sounds maybe a little bit like a lot of effort and a lot of work when we feel ourselves in that imbalance, but it really just becomes a nice, effortless, fluid dance after a while. And then when you sync up with someone who is also in that divine union dance within themselves, it's just delicious. So, I think there's going to be some opportunities for us to really feel what that's like. I'm getting this notion that you're getting it from all angles, babe. Like, you're getting love from all angles. Like, there is no shortage of love and adoration and affection towards you, feminine, right now. And like, the more you're tapping into that, like, very much, you know what it's giving? Like, first of all, world card energy. So go look up the world card in the tarot. It's also giving like 9 numerology of like really having like gone through your own journey and like kind of reaching your final form in a way, but like not, you never really do that. But it just feels like very much like you're in this place of like feeling really sure of who you are and what you have to provide to the world around you. But it's giving this energy of like, when she's a goddess, you must come with offerings. Like, you know, you have to know what you bring to the table. Like, you have to know what you offer, because like a woman who is, you know, really taking care of herself, like taking time, harnessing her creative womb energy, putting it into conscious things, you know, not overextending herself, making sure that, you know, she's just very aware of her energy and who is accessing it, and then pouring like good love into the world around her. Like, that is a woman who you have to like know what you're really going to be able to provide to her, because this is a woman who can kind of give you the world, right? That's you, babe. We're talking about you. Like, you're the woman. You're the woman who could give someone the world. And it really comes from a place of just like sheer heart space. But don't overwork yourself, right? Actions speak louder than words, always. I'm just getting the feeling of like someone's actions are really going to speak volumes. The way that someone's acting really is going to dictate kind of can I be honest with you, girl? I'm sorry. I don't want to, you know, that's a Q-U-R-L, quarrel, okay? Can I be honest with you, squirrel? Okay. This feels a little bit spicy. This feels like you are kind of feeling into what you want intimately, and you know, I'm just gonna say actions speak. Like, you'll know. Like, that's kind of all I can say on that one. Yeah, focus on your, like, how you can really feel this love truly from all angles. This doesn't mean just like, you know, multiple suitors like presenting themselves. This means from like all areas of your life, like feeling love in your food, feeling love in your music, feeling love in, you know, getting dressed in the morning and putting on your skincare. Like, falling in love with life is kind of the energy that comes with this whole like feminine healing that's going to really be happening. I mentioned it before. It is going to show up in your finances. I think it might have already been starting to shift your finances, especially as Mercury retrograde kind of readjusts. I think collectively I have a lot of people who have similar placements, and we kind of got affected financially. We got kicked in the ass. But I think this has been changing, and it's going to be an easy change because this really seems like a time where you're not actually so focused on money. Like, yeah, you need to pay your bills. Like, yeah, you need the money, of course. Who doesn't? But it's not something that you are like making your identity. It's like just something that's happening under the surface. And I think you are really trying to be aware of the abundance in your life that shows up in all ways, which is how this all ties together. Like really being able to like, oh, I don't know. Those are the grunts and the sounds and the words that want to happen. Like receive the like juiciness and the like eroticism and the romanticism of life. And this is something that I have a notion you have felt into before, maybe a little bit more of a wilder and freer version of you. I don't know why Glass Animals, the song, like, oh, what's the words? Free to roam and dizzy on caffeine, fun and friends who make you laugh. You know, that's kind of, you know, it just, there was a time when you kind of felt this more maybe like light, freer version of yourself who was like really in love with like life. And I think you kind of have been feeling just how different you feel now. Like, it happened, you slowly were maybe in a toxic relationship with being alive. I feel you, sis. Like, I don't know. It's just giving, like, life got really hard. We pulled away from our feminine, and, you know, we've just been working with what we've got, and we would love to be more in our goddesshood. We would love to be more, you know, all the things, but it's just like not how life played out. But that's shifting. I just feel like that's deeply shifting. There's a huge indicator of being in the sunshine and feeling like some really warm skin, warmth on your skin, like feeling really warm solar codes soaking into your skin. This is important, like, for you as an individual. This is like an indicator that you're like where you're supposed to be. I just think it's, interesting. I think you are going to follow the people, not just follow, but like stay close and embrace those people who feel like sunshine to you. And you're going to start feeling like the warmth of like life again, like this, the way that the sun feels like when it's shining on your face. And there's going to be moments of this that are just like indicators of like, I don't know, source kind of being like, yeah, you're exactly where you are. Like, almost like a spotlight, but not a spotlight. It's like just the warmth of life. Like, embrace that and be in that, accept that like little moment, and really start tapping into like, you know, what the sexual eroticism of life is. You're no stranger. I'm just gonna be real, girl. You know, girl, squirrel, whatever, whoever. I'm sorry if that's offensive to you. I really am going to try to work on that. I mean that. Listen, let's keep it a buck. You're no stranger to your sexual eroticism. You're turned on by life. Like, you're like, you are hot and heavy by life. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being in love with life, not just turned on by it. Like, been there, done that, you know, it is what it is. It's great, and it's a really fiery, passionate, wild experience to like find your, you know, ecstatic bliss about life. Now it's time to like love it and give it this sort of like real tender devotion that you kind of want to receive from life too. Like, you want that tender like cradling from life where it just feels like, oh, could it get any better? You know, you want to wake up and like feel like you're in one of those like, what were they called? I don't even remember. This feels like it might be for something else. Just, it wants to be like a very lighthearted, like, does it get any better? Does it get any better, right? And I think you're on your way to that. There is some indicators here of like, this is very much a path that's meant for you to be walking specifically. The pace that you're walking is perfect. Like, you are exactly as you need to be and where you need to be on your journey, so that you can really receive truly and fully all the things. And you might have even started getting glimpses of the things like right before Mercury retrograde. This would have been about 3 to 4 weeks ago. So about a month ago, when things started unraveling, it was like a little glimpse, not unraveling in a bad way, but just like things, motion was happening, actions are happening, things were taking shape, and you got a glimpse into what is possible for you. The manifest card did pop out before, and I do feel like that's relevant of kind of that, like you were kind of able to tap into what that feels like to manifest and like bring into reality, which again happens when you're in divine union with yourself, right? When you have the like the passion and the want and the yearn and the then the masculine steps in and it's like, okay, let's make it happen. Let's make it real. Let's make it physical. Let's take it from this shapeless, thought realm and bring it into the physical reality. Everything around you in your eye view right now, in your eye line, was a manifestation. Every single thing started as an idea and then took shape. So that had to happen with some kind of divine union where the synergy happened and it just took shape. This takes focus, and this takes, again, just like discerning, what you want to give your energy to. Don't give it into fear. Don't give it into ancestral trauma. There could be some father wounds, some something to do with like change. Maybe you feel like you need to change, or someone around you maybe should change but isn't changing, or there's just this resistance or fear around things changing. And it could be a little bit of a distorted reality and not really based in like truth, not really based in what's actually going on around you. Make sure this isn't coming from a place of fear. Make sure this isn't coming from a place of whatever father wounds might have to do with I'm curious about this. I know this is kind of a long reading, baby cakes. Thank you for hanging in here with me, and I hope that 3:33. I hope that you're enjoying this, and I hope that you have been enjoying my broadcast space that I put together. I really have been enjoying on my end just showing up there and having a place to kind of put all this nonsense. Yeah, because it just feels like there's this idea of oh. Here's the thing. What you're afraid of is valid. It's very valid. It's very real, because you might have actually seen it happen with your father. I'm like, this is what the reading is clearly saying, like clear as day. This could be involving an air sign, which is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. One of your parents involving your father in some way. There is this feeling of like, I've seen it happen. I know it can happen. This is like a legitimate fear. Don't try to talk me out of it. But if that's what you focus on, then you're never going to really be able to tap into the potential of what you could really have, and I think what you ultimately really want. It feels like there's always like this someone else energy in your life that kind of pulls away from your actual potential, what you actually want, what you actually deserve. And remember, like, what you actually want is the journey. You don't want just the destination. Like, anyone can tell you this, and you probably know this for yourself, to be of like, you could end up with all the riches in the world or whatever shallow, outcome we can think of, right? The most followers or something like that. I don't know. But then when we get it, it's kind of like, it just doesn't feel as great, because what we actually love is achieving things. Like, that's what makes the happy chemicals go off in our brain, is like the achievements and like being able to say, hey, I fucking did that. So, this journey that you're on called life, babe, it's one that requires patience. Good things come to those who wait. You need to wait at least a couple more months, I think, for things to really manifest in the way that you're wanting them to. And don't let anyone else get in the middle of this. Don't let anyone else get in the middle of what you're looking for. Like, you need to be very, like, there's no room for risk. There's no room for gambles, because your decisions are 111. Your decisions are basically, you're like telling the universe, like, this is what I am about. This is what I'm about. Every decision you make, you're like, this is what I'm about. This is who I really am. This is what I'm actually choosing. You can't be sneaky with the divine. You can't, This is a weird reading. I feel like it's taking a turn. But it's just like the truth. Like, you can make choices out of fear and really miss out on your true potential of what you really want, and kind of keep going in a spiral. You need to be a little bit selfish about like your goals and what you're after, and don't let your ancestral trauma get in the way of the kind of like eroticism that you're finding around love and life, and being in love with life, and feeling loved and feeling good, and like feeling showered with like the kind of affection that you've always wanted, and kind of from yourself first and foremost. It's just feeling very much like you put on R&B music, you've got like, the butters on the skin, like it just feels like you're very much like in flow and feeling really in love with life again. And that's something you really wanted, something you prayed for. So don't let other people, shit on your journey and the way that you're doing things, the way that you're moving around things. Because let's be honest, this is the other thing, is like you're incredible. You are an incredible, you're like a vision. That's all I can say. Like, you are a vision, and you can be a vision to anyone that you set your heart to, and all those that you pour into. Like, your circle is very lucky to have you. Okay? And the truth is that if you're not feeling showered with like the affection that you give to others, or the devotion and the connection and just like how much you really pour into other people, if you're not feeling that, you absolutely are the creative director of your life, and you can find that somewhere else. You know this. You don't need me to tell you this. You really just don't. But I think it's also kind of like just affirming for you to just remember, like, as you're feeling all of this, like, flux of affection, recognition, appreciation, to be discerning about what it is you really want to receive, because that is the gift of the feminine energies. Like, what is it that you really want to receive, right? Not only who has access to your energy, but what are you taking in? What are you receiving? And allowing that to be also a big, deciding factor of like what you're aligning with. You can absolutely choose anything for yourself. You will never fall off of your path. This is my last little message for you, okay? You're never going to fall off your path. You're always going to be exactly 111 on the path that's meant for you, okay? However, it's just some things are meant to be done intentionally, without fear, with patience, from the heart space. And some things that are challenging are meant for your own growth and for your own benefit, like facing whatever fears are coming up around receiving all of this, like genuine good love. What is showing up for you that's keeping that from feeling like you can fully receive it? What did you notice in the last 3 weeks during the time of the Mercury retrograde? What blocks did show up? Because this is all challenges that you can use to ultimately help you be a more full, expanded person. It expands you. It expands exactly that aura, that energy center that we were talking about before. It's like, yeah. This was a longer one than I intended to, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Some numbers that are signifiers that came through are 111, of course, the number 9, 333, 12, 12. Let's see, is any other numbers that stuck out? No, I think that's it, honestly. Yeah, doesn't really seem... Yeah, those are my signifiers right now. Infinity symbol, Scorpio could be significant in some way, but definitely air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Yeah, so I'm really excited for you that you're really getting all of the love and appreciation that you've been really missing out on, or just it felt like the well was dry in that area, and I'm really glad you're receiving it fully and letting yourself receive it. You deserve it. I think you're gonna really, especially this springtime, there's seeds being planted right now that are going to reach full bloom spring and summer that are really going to be like transformational for you. And that's why I'm saying, like, give it a couple months. That was a signifier too, but just like, you can't pick the fruit the same day you plant the seed. You got to learn to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey of tapping into this like feminine energy healing that you're doing, because it's really going to be so fruitful for you. It's going to give you the long-term bountiful harvest, the bountiful results that you're really needing to just kind of build that like self-worth and that connection to your internal world that you miss it. You just miss it. And it's here for you now. And everything that you went through was to put you back in this space where you could fully embrace it and not take it for granted, and actually allow this to now like take shape or to help you take shape, to help you bring all of these magnificent ideas that you have, all of these, like, all the things that you're aligning with and harmonizing with, maybe you're going out and you're around people and community, or around inspiring music, or maybe a disco ball could be significant, flamingos could be significant, and you're just feeling really like moved and in love with life again. Like, that's what you've been missing, and it is very possible for you. Okay, butterfly is also significant. Lots of love, fuzzy dice may also be significant for these things too. Okay, long ass reading. So much love to you, and I will talk to you soon.